There's another concept which comes in very handy, which is going to be the try statement. So let's look at the try statement within Python. Try statement comes in very handy if we're trying to do something, we're not quite sure yet, we might have an issue that comes out of it, and then if that issue comes up, or if something happens that's kind of rare, it's an exception, then we want to make sure we call that out. So when we have try, we usually try something and then we expect that this might not go well, or we might have an exception, we might have some issues from there, and then we can kind of handle that. All right, that's really basically what try does for us within Python or programming in general. So that said, let's actually look at a very simple code. So let's say age equals to int. All right, because we're gonna take let's actually take the input first. We're gonna take an input from a user. We're gonna say please enter. Let me just write this smaller. Enter your age. All right, this seems like a very innocent code, but guys, you'll be asking what can go wrong, right? What can go wrong with a code like this? That just simply takes age from the user and prints to the screen. So if I take the age and I print to the screen, you might say, Fru, this is so trivial, why are you showing this in the try catch statement? What can go wrong? All right, guys, a lot of things can go wrong. For one, if I have to rerun this code and I print something like this, Fru in the name, all right, it takes Fru and it prints it on the screen, but Fru is not an age. All right, let's just say we wanted to take age plus 1 as an example to tell me what my birthday would be. If I run this, guys, and I say my age is 30, all right, you see we start having problems because now I'm expecting strings and I'm not getting strings, and a whole lot of issues can be happening. But you might say, easy problem, let's solve that. Let's just make this to be an int. All right, and that's fine, right? We can convert that in whatever we get as an input into an int, and so that will allow us to add. If I go in here and I say 30, and it's gonna print 31 for me, so my next birthday would be turning 31. All right, well, that all looks good unless you realize that if I run this now and asking for my age, because somebody can type whatever they want in this input, if I go ahead and type through, what happens now? We have an issue of we're expecting a number in here, but this is giving us a string. We're getting a string which is Fru. We cannot cast it to an int. There's no way to take a full string like Fru and change it to an int, and so our program is failing. And the way we handle situations like this, whether getting input from the user, we want to try and see if that input is correct, or reading from a file or web services, is very important to leverage the concept of try statement. So try allows us to try something. If it doesn't work, then we give up. We say, no, I tried, it didn't work, and now I'm giving up totally. It's okay to give up sometimes, guys. I know a lot of people say, don't try, and never give up, guys. If you try something, it doesn't work, give up. And that's what programming tells us. So let's go ahead and try. So to try something, you simply just use a try statement, put that all in a block. Whatever you're putting in the block there is going to try that. Now, if there are exceptions, then we can go ahead and capture those exceptions as VE. All right, and then what I'll do here is I'm simply gonna print something on the screen and says, please be serious, right? Because once you give things to users, they like to be silly with it. So let's just remind them to be serious. We need numbers, not names. All right, okay, so we gotta remind our users sometimes that we need numbers, not names. So this code should work. All right, and even if a user gives me something that is not and what I expect, it's not an integer, instead of just failing and giving me red messages on the screen, because I've put it within a try statement, it's gonna try that thing, and if it doesn't work, then it says, whoa, I saw an error and this is a value error that I'm expecting, it's not what I expect. Then it's gonna safely print this message for me on the screen. So let's go ahead and run this and see. Of course, if we do 30, works fine. But if I run this again now, watch what happens. If I write in through, it says it doesn't give me the red error, it doesn't scream, it doesn't like throw all over the place. Now it goes ahead and says, please be serious, we need numbers, not names. All right, and so once you start using try statements within your code, guys, it makes it a lot more safer. It makes it a lot more foolproof. So if somebody wants to goof around within your code, it's not just gonna break and complain, right? If you ask for numbers and the user is giving you strings, guys, your code, no matter what your user gives it to you, you can go ahead and write whatever it is you want. It's not gonna even bother. It's gonna just say, hey, be serious, this is not what I expect, do something else, right? So this is try, and then this is the exception to handle whatever issues come out of this try. All right, so if you're doing something, you're expecting that some issues will happen, especially when you're dealing with users, with human beings, you always want to think about, okay, can I try this first, and if it doesn't work, what exceptions do I expect, and then you want to handle those exceptions. All right, guys, so